Hello people of the verse and welcome to the channel, The Eradicator. Here in this video we will be talking about Jumptown 2 because the devs did talk about it quite a little bit in the latest episode of Inside Star Citizen, and I believe that this will be marking the return of emergent gameplay, but this time it is going to be fully organized by Cloud Imperium Games and the devs, so that's why it is quite exciting. And yeah, the latest episode of Inside Star Citizen did bring a lot of clarifications regarding the old Jumptown and why they eventually had to go, and we haven't had it anymore until its potential return. Before we do that, guys, of course, let's talk about this month's giveaway, as I am giving away 2 Constellation Taurus with not LT, but with long insurance for sure. All you have to do is to subscribe to this channel and answer the giveaway question I'll be asking later. Also, one of these Constellation Tauruses will be given away by Dr. Forbin, and we will give it away in 2 days on the 15th, so be on the lookout for that. It's coming really soon. Guys, let's talk about Star Citizen Alpha 3.15, 16. We don't know. It's probably going to be coming soon because they've been talking more and more, and they like to have those dynamic events which are either manually triggered by the devs, just click on the button and boom, it appears in the verse, or the idea is that these dynamic events are going to be generated by Quanta, which is the simulation that is being developed by Tony Zurvek right now, and the aim is to be bringing the verse to life based on what the NPCs or what the players are doing in the verse and how their actions are affecting the whole simulation. And so one of these events being Jumptown 2. Now, what is Jumptown 2 and what is Jumptown in general? For those of you who don't know, and there are quite a few of you guys who don't know, by the way. I've noticed that quite a lot of people have joined Star Citizen recently, and I got a really give a big shout out to all of you guys who have recently hopped in on the project. So that's why I always try to take also sometimes, well, the time to explain some of these older events or terms that, of course, some of the older backers may be more familiar with, right? So if you are a new backer, like for example, maybe you are like a Jmac 115 who just recently used who just recently used the referral code, right? Well, Jumptown Jumptown is right now, still is. It is a location on the Yela. It's basically a drug lab. And of course, well, you're not going to be making a lot of money right now with the drug labs because they don't generate a lot of commodities, unfortunately. And you cannot really sell them a lot as well. So basically, they're just sitting there in your cargo hold, and they're just wasting your time at this specific moment. But in the past, it was not the case. In the past, you could buy large quantities of them at a cheap price, and you could sell a lot of them at a Grimex or some of the other locations that were taking drugs. And there were not a lot of them, but there were quite a few. And these were buying drugs in large quantities at very high prices. So you can imagine that lots of people were making a ton of money. We're talking about tens of millions of alpha UEC. And as a result, of course, you can also imagine that this attracted a lot of orgs. People fought for the control of Jumptown simply because, well, eventually at some point, if everybody goes to the same place to buy commodities, eventually it depleted, and if it depleted, people were wasting time, and so they were not able to buy as large quantities as they would have wished. And guys, you have to imagine that people were buying quantities that were so large that you could fill entire caterpillars of Widow and other illegal goods back there with a single trip. That's what we're talking about here. So that's why it attracted all of those large organizations which were fighting for the control of the organization and for the control of the place. And I remember back in those days, you would have hammerheads, you would have constellations that would be fully crewed by players, and they would literally blow you up if you attempted to go anywhere near the facility. And so you would have other organizations that would come with their entire fleets, and they would try to take control of Jumptown, and it was just fantastic because people would know that there would have been a huge battle. They would just coming and side with one of the protagonists of the battle, and eventually they would betray them, take control of Jumptown for themselves. It was just absolutely epic. And unfortunately, it came to an end because the developers did say in its start season that the reason why it was possible to buy so much quantities of illegal goods there and sell them at such large quantities was because of a bug. And they did say that they were actually heartbroken to have to get rid of it. But it was basically, they were right, it was basically breaking the economy because it made people far richer than they should have been. But at the same time, they did acknowledge that people had a lot of fun. They probably tried it themselves and they had a lot of fun themselves too, which is why they are going to be trying to bring it back eventually in the future under the form of one of those dynamic events that we're having right now with the Threat event or the Ninetale lockdown. And so how is it going to work? Apparently people are going to be notified that something is going to happen at Jumptown, or that maybe there's like some kind of demand for drugs, because that's the problem. You can buy them but you can't sell them, right? So maybe there's going to be some kind of organization that's going to have some, I don't know, some kind of festival or some event on Grimex or somewhere else around the standard system, or even Pyro, if by then we'll have the Pyro system perhaps. And there will be opportunities to finally buy those products and sell them at a particular area. And of course, the idea was to buy as many as possible in order to be able to make as much money as possible. And if you want to be buying as much money as possible, you're gonna have, if you want to be buying as much drug as possible, you are going to have to control that particular area on the long run. And this is what CIG wants to. They don't want to give like missions. They don't want to be giving particular instructions. They don't want to have heavy scripts on that particular event. They just want the demand to be there, the offer and the demand to be there, so that then players can organize themselves and create their own emergent gameplay, but based this time on the boundaries that CIG would have created. So there you have it, guys. This is what Jumptown 2 is going to be. It is going to be heavily inspired by the original Jumptown, but under the boundaries created within the game by the developers of Cloud Imperium. That's all for this video, guys. But here's the giveaway question, of course. How do you envision Jumptown 2? Do you think that I got it right, or do you think that I'm totally wrong? Please let me know in the comment section down below. But of course, as always, please give me some proper argumentations to say why you think that way. I'll see you guys tomorrow for more content on the channel. Big shout out to Bear Commando for becoming my latest Patreon, and of course Ericon, Tala, and Dr. Forbin for their large contribution on Patreon as well. It helps a lot. I'll see you guys tomorrow for more content on the channel. This is the Eradicator. I'll see you guys later. This video is brought to you by the people who support this channel on Patreon and via the join button as well. Supporters of the channel get access to lots of cool perks, such as access to my private Discord, your question answered in the show, you get to know when I'm going to play, and also you get to have a chance to influence the editorial line of the channel. Any help is appreciated, starts at just $1 a month. Thank you very much for watching. This is the Eradicator, and I'll see you guys later.